today to speak about the MOU. First of all, what do I expect from this MOU? I would love for this MOU to have both nations, grow together in both security and economics. And when I stress both of these areas, I say that because the only two nations that I believe in the HOA or the Horn of Africa currently that have a bright future would be Somaliland and Ethiopia. When I say security, I'm also referring to how the HOA is one of the areas in this world that has a lot of wars, a lot of famines, so on and so forth. And as we all know, after this MOU was signed, we had Al-Shabaab and Somalia running around to different nations trying to form alliances, nations calling out Ethiopia, some actually, propagating some type of war that could happen or impend. Al-Shabaab speaking, saying that they would fight. These are areas that I believe that Ethiopia and Somaliland must work together on, because if they don't work together on these areas, many people will try to take advantage of this and, essentially topple both nations. I'd also want Ethiopia to add incentives because, as we know, Ethiopia currently, gives a lot of money over to Djibouti, and that's another thing that could happen. Is Djibouti currently right now is running around same way Somalia is, because they know that if Ethiopia goes to Somaliland, is able to use our port with less, taxes and has its own maritime, they know that Ethiopia would become a superpower. And while Ethiopia, has a pathway to become a superpower, it would also mean that they would have to think about working in other areas with Somaliland to keep these areas. Another thing is that I see that Somaliland is doing good in is, for example, its port, but a port has surpassed, Djibouti, and has been, on a steady pace, and it's one of the best ports in Africa. And so that's another area I think Ethiopia must look into and type of, try to invest in that area. I'd also want Ethiopia to add, other incentives such as training our armed forces, our navy, for example, because even though Ethiopia does have a navy, its navy is currently landlocked. It's in an area that can't really reach the sea. And so once they are able to get that 20 kilometers through lease, they'd be able to, for example, train maybe our navy, and we can both work together in that area. That's another area of security that we can work on. And, create more, stability within the HOA. And so now I'd like to actually talk about some of the things that, the previous shadow minister spoke about. For
Dr. Aaron,
example, he claimed
yeah, feel free to address points, but please don't address people. Just address points. Let's.
Okay, I'll address those points. Yeah. Okay. So one of the points raised was recognition based on borders, which is it's not factual, because if you look at previous nations or other nations within this within this world, I'd like to give an example of Croatia, Bosnia and Herzegovina, both recognized in '92, although they're at a time where neither was able to completely control significant parts of its territory. And when you look at the case of Somaliland, about 5% of its territory is held under control by Somalia. And people think I am cuckoo for saying this, but it's actually held by Somalia and terrorists, because Somalia does end up working with terrorists. So what do I mean by Somalia? So these terrorists were funded by Somalia. They use tribal politics and hurt feelings and resentment, and created, tribal militias. And these militias are currently fighting for Somaliland. And we, as Somaliland, are obviously getting ready to take back those lands by force. In the beginning, we weren't really fighting, but after certain setbacks, we will be launching offensives pretty soon. Another thing I'd like to mention was, let's see, let me read back the points. Yep. Somaliland kills its own constituents indiscriminately. That's a blatant lie. No form of that really happens with the nation. Although I do agree that there are some instances where certain clashes happen between governmental forces or police forces and, certain rioters, and do result in casualties. I do believe that's an area that we can, improve in. But I don't think that Somaliland ultimately just kills its citizens and its constituents 24/7 without reason. There are instances where certain mini clashes happen and a few people die, in which may God rest their souls, it happens. And I think that's an area that we can say we need a little bit of, how do I put it, working on. Another thing that I'd like to talk about is proxy wars. This is another area that I think Ethiopia should look into, because these proxy wars will ultimately be sent to Ethiopia to fight within Ethiopia, and it's currently brewing within Somaliland and its surrounding areas. Like I previously mentioned, Berbera port is currently ranking pretty high within Africa, and it surpassed Djibouti, which kind of pisses off Djibouti. And also with Ethiopia moving its traffic towards Somaliland, Djibouti has been in talks with Somalia, a terrorist organization or government, if you may put it, that works with terrorists. And so what they're planning is to essentially aid many militias within Ethiopia, as they already have within Somaliland, to create some sort of uproar and discontent within the people, some sort of wars, etc., etc. And so I think this is another area when I come back to the points or the things that I want or I expect this MOU to add is some sort of security pact or some sort of alliance within security and economics, because if both nations work on these areas, we'll be able to stomp out these sort of mini proxy wars that are currently brewing, and some are actually moving towards Ethiopia currently. For example, if you look at one of the sheikhs or quote unquote sheikhs, I don't believe he's a religious scholar. He claims to be one, but he escaped from Minnesota and he went to Canada, and currently he resides in Kenya. What he was talking about, or what the things that he was saying, was he would create mini militias within the Somali region of Ethiopia, particularly the city of Jigjiga, and essentially march on Ethiopia's capital, Addis Ababa, and destabilize all of Ethiopia and all that whatnot. So I mean, if we really look at the MOU is a good thing for both nations, but it also has issues that we ourselves between both nations need to look into and discuss and figure out how we can stop it before it brings turmoil to our nations in the future. And so I think that's all I'd really want to discuss today. So I'm thankful that you opened up this space, Sharwake, and I can't wait to listen to more of my Ethiopian friends and get to hear out their opinions and their ideas going on. So thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Aro, and you made some good points there. And just to stress, Farham Alimat himself on video said that he will, march 500,000 Somalians into Ethiopia. So I think that like some of these politicians think when they speak in Somali, their words will be hidden, but they won't be, and I think they're there for the world to see. We've seen politicians from Somalia openly state that, as I've said earlier in this space, that they've resigned. Got a call that they've resigned to the fact that the MOU will be implemented, and that the only thing that they can do is pump these, donor-funded billions that they receive each year into destabilizing and delegitimizing Somaliland by, paying for, organizing, and pushing armed militia within Somaliland. And I think this is all on record, and it's not sort of something that just Somalilanders are saying, but it's all on record, recorded, and it just shows you the hubris some of these politicians have. And me being a sort of British taxpayer, I find it astounding that they think that they can use my taxes to actually cause this instability within Somaliland. But Haptish, welcome.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you guys, and thank you for opening this space. I must say that this is a long day coming. Still, we have not finalized it, so no rushing here, and we will finalize it and finish it. Very soon. I've been following up with the MOU, with the Ethiopian government and the people that I know from inside, and to check up on the status of the MOU. And I never even given up. A lot of people were talking about the MOU as if it is dead. But as you can see, it's not dead. It's alive, and actually, it's on the final stage. Now, the speaker before me spoke about the the relationship between Ethiopia and Somaliland, about training and military training, police training, and Navy training. I'm not sure if you are aware of it. Those has been signed and as a deal and has MOU. So there is no question on that. And Ethiopia and Somaliland are working together. The job already started and has nothing to do with MOU. It has no attachment with MOU. And they are already creating those, the security relationship, the economy relationship. Of course, MOU will, make it more stronger than ever before. What I would like to say is, the opposition parties, I highly suggest for them to not to use the MOU for political purpose, not to hold it if everything is finalized, and before the election. I highly suggest not to use it just for their political purpose, or just to make a point. Just to make a point that they will. I hope that they will. See, this is it's the country interest, not a country interest, not. And I also highly suggest, or any parties or any political parties stop using the word when they are talking about Somaliland. They should not be. I think they should know better. I think they should know better. I was told. I used it one time. I was not to use it, and I was given not to use it. Why? And I was given the reason why I should not be using it. The reason why I should not be using it. Then I went back and looked at it. And no way. Because I made a mistake. I deleted my post, and never used it before. Never again. Used it before again, and I will never use it. That would damage the relationship. That would damage what we are. That would damage what we are. We should not be selling to our enemies. We should not be selling to our enemies this term de facto. And we always Somaliland as a country, Somaliland as a country is not yet recognized by international communities. And once it's recognized, it's going to be the 55th African countries. So with that being said, we urge you. I also to be careful. To make sure that we don't have any malls. We don't have any malls within ourselves. There are people who pretended to be people who pretended to be, but they work against us. But they work including with other, including working with other, working with countries, enemies. They are our enemies. News independent reporters. They pretend with Ethiopia and Somaliland, but Somaliland, but they sleekly are writing the negative things about Somaliland or Somaliland or Ethiopia. I urge you guys, when you find out someone like that, expose them and post about that, so that we post about that, who we didn't with, and I really do appreciate you for this space, and the friendship will continue. The friendship will continue. One day I would have a chance to invest in Somaliland.
Atish, thank you very much. Thank you for your continued support as well, and all that you do as well. We see the good fight you're engaged in, consistently just being reminded by message. I've just been reminded by message. Somaliland Ethiopians, Somaliland, to all follow each other, to all support each other, to all support each other, because this fight against us is against all of us. If one is attacked, then all are attacked. So please make sure you all follow each other. And just really quickly before I give it to Yeman Gurim, just to the point about politicizing this deal, I 100% agree with you. I 100% agree with you. From Somaliland's perspective, there are conversations being had within Somaliland. The process, the procedure, is fair. When I think it's politicized, when it's not politicized, a case to be said that in terms of how our democracy works, there is an expectation and a right, all key political stakeholders have sight of a deal which will be passed through Parliament. I think that was the message that was sort of being pushed. And I think that's a good message, and I think that's a good message. I think that's correct.
Before you continue, I want to jump in with number one. Number one, Somaliland is not a de facto state; it's a de jure state. It was recognized legally. It was legally independent. It was legally independent country. It never acts of union that are legally binding. So this is why Somaliland is this is why Somaliland under international law would call state continuation. I think it was continuation. If people, especially a lot of Somalilanders, forget Somaliland's legal case and its legal basis. I also wanted to add, interestingly, in an election season, and you can see the rivalry between the parties. Everything is very political in this country. Especially in an election year. The opposition they want to blast, and the government they want to try and bring home win. So this is to be expected. So this is to be expected. But this is as far as the national interest of Somaliland is not to be politicized, and I think it's not to be politicized. Comes under national interest. I hope all the stakeholders, the main opposition parties, the main organizations that wants to become parties, and so on, all get together and have a national plan. Implementation of this deal, how they would like to forward it. Conversation on how to implement it, make implemented. I would like it to be discussed. I would like it to be very country, so that this doesn't political football. That the opposition says, the opposition says, government says, we're gonna win elections. We're gonna win elections. You don't take national interest. You don't take national political games and play political games. And I think it can. It probably will be discussed at some point. What was it? The opposition was saying, we don't have time for this because election is coming first. And we know election is coming first. And we know election is coming. You can discuss these kind of things the same way. The same way you can fund the opposition, the military fund while they were playing, election games with each other. I wanted to add that the other thing I wanted to add, and especially a lot of people say is, Somaliland's territory is the eastern is being infested by Somalian terrorists. People pretend that affects Somaliland's legal jurisdictions and borders. No, it doesn't. First of all, no, it doesn't. Countries like Moldova, I think it's as Dr. Ara said, it was also Bosnia-Herzegovina, Croatia, and so on. Croatia, and so on. Other countries, while their territory was, being by some sort of terrorist contingency, and Somalilanders with this, just because Somalian terrorists, are now running around in eastern Somaliland, that get recognition from other countries. Obviously, we can get recognition. Nothing to do with the fact that some militias and terrorists are in the eastern part of one region, of the country. That doesn't affect it. So I don't know who came first.
Thank you, Abdurrahman. It was Yamane. Apologies if I absolutely butchered your name. Please tell me how to say it properly. Welcome.
All right, thank you. My name is Grum Yaman. Hopefully you know how to say that. So just first of all, I want to thank you for hosting. Much needed. Hopefully you will keep hosting even after the MOU is signed. Even after the MOU is signed, to people relationship, between Somaliland needs to be strengthened because in that region, we both don't really have friends. The only friends we have for each other. So we have to be each other's friends. So my expectation. My expectation Ethiopian government is that Ethiopian government will recognize Somaliland It's a national security issue for both Somaliland. It's also an economic issue for both. Both countries need to manage their water resources. Strategically. Both countries have water resources. Ethiopia also has water resources that it can share with Somaliland. Fresh water has a lot of resources. Fresh water Somaliland can utilize for a lot of work. Managing our water resources is important strategically for our economic growth and national security. It's important that we continue this movement. We for security reasons. We build a united military force, to protect both countries. Also, we build an integrated economy. Thereafter, potential for development for both countries is both countries. After that, because as our economy develops, as our economy become more politically stable, then we will build stronger. We will build security forces as we become more stable. So the growth will continue. So I just want to say, keep holding this. So I just want to say, keep holding this, and please keep holding it, and please keep after the MOU is signed. We will celebrate together. We will celebrate together. Thank you.
Girim Yaman, thank you very much. Thank you very much. Very articulate, very precise, concise. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Talabur, I just realized because you haven't had your hand up. We haven't come to you. Did you want to say a word before I give it to my friend LMG?
Thank you, Sharmaki. I was away from the mic and eagerly listening. Thank you. My greetings to everybody. Although I'm new to X, a bit hands-on and work on social good projects in Somaliland. And my contribution is, the question has been asked, what is our expectations? So I wouldn't talk about what should and should not happen, because I don't have enough information. But as a Somalilander, my expectation is all Somalilanders will unite behind this MOU. And will support 100%. That's one of my expectations. My other expectations are international communities are taking notes of what Somaliland and Ethiopia are doing. In terms of African problems, lies on African solutions. So they are watching and taking notes. Will make it easier. The process. To finalize this, and also my expectations are this should not be politicized, as others mentioned earlier, and we purely should look for in the interest of Somaliland. Also, my expectation in general is security and prosperity in the whole region, and some of the conflicts and the pockets of the issues in Somaliland will resolve. Because this will be case study of underlearning as a country for Somaliland, as a region. Because Ethiopia is a superpower of Africa, and Somaliland as is small, but it's its own right. Having this deal is something that really should be applauded, something that should be supported. And I know that international community and Somaliland are really working hard. So this will be finalized. It will be achieved. In neutral level, and Somaliland will get the best deal out of this agreement. But I think Somaliland is really to come up on board and support in any way they can. I know we are entering elections. However, that should not shadow the importance and the signals that we're sending that these two countries, neighboring countries, are really showing courage and bold decisions. So thank you, Sharmaki. Thank you, but all colleagues and fellow Somalilanders, that I will urge your attention should be the bigger picture, and not what should happen. and what should happen in terms of your different fields. But to look at the youth of Somaliland, it's their time to really achieve what their aspirations, and this might create jobs, and this might create jobs. Agriculturally, to be enhanced, business and trade to thrill, business and trade to thrill. Really, Somaliland to really successful, to be successful. We've been patient and we've been worked hard for it. It didn't come easily. It didn't come easily. Our expectation is quite high. Is quite high. Say Sharmarke is keep doing what you're doing. Keep doing what you're doing. But people should share their own aspiration, their own experience. I think their own experience and remove the shadows and remove the shadows, political issues and political other things. But what will it mean, you and I? What will it mean, you and I? What will it mean? We should grab it with both hands. I think we should make it happen. We should make it happen. Really, go from there. And other countries will be in line. And other countries will be in line. Then we will have the case study. Then to actually show that Somaliland can do, that Somaliland can do, and will achieve all. Thank you. And will achieve all. Bring it to you, Mark.
Thank you very much, Talabur. Thank you very much, Talabur. Thank you very much for that. Fantastic. That was fantastic. I'm gonna pass it over to brother LMG. LMG, welcome. Brother LMG, welcome.
Yeah, thank you, Sharmarke, for holding this space. Thanks for holding this space. Thanks for the call. And yeah, it's a great topic. Especially what are the expectations? What are the from Somaliland and Ethiopia side, right? The expectation can be, categorized by many factors. Politically, international, international stage, economically as well. I think we expect more investment opportunities, regional instabilities, and even within both countries, even within the inside stability, right? Within the inside stability, right? If now some people don't understand what type of opportunity the opportunity bring, they're gonna understand in the long term. They're gonna understand in the long term. Also regionally, Ethiopia and Somaliland can be seen two countries that promote regional integrity, basically integration, right, between the two countries, right? We haven't seen this type of bold steps from any other African countries, right? Also for the powerful countries like the West. I think I've already seen some parliamentary speeches from the UK, even the US lawmakers, telling their government, to see this opportunity and have an influence in that area. So sooner or later they're gonna understand the effects, and a positive outcome of this situation. So basically, my point the expectations are high. The expectations are high. Carefully assess. The outcomes and the challenges. The outcomes and the challenges, right? So be productive in the long term. That's what I'm gonna say. I'm gonna make it short. That's what I'm gonna say. Hopefully, we're gonna hear more great news. More stability and stability and let's promote peace. And development. And development. Thank you for hosting this space. Also, thank you for hosting this space. Mark has been doing great job. Having these type of spaces where we come together and share our opinions, our sides, and our concerns, and our concerns. You're doing a great job. Keep doing. You're doing a great job. Keep doing, Mark. I just want to say.
Thank you very much, LMG. Thank you very much, LMG. Thank you. Just gonna bring up Ridwan. Ridwan, jump in, and I'll bring up Mohammed as well.
Thank you very much, Sharmarke. Sorry for my English is not better.
Salam alaikum.
Who's? I can't. Oh, is it Mohammed? Mohammed Ridwan is speaking. Mohammed Ridwan is speaking. Just Sorry, 1 second, Ridwan. Sorry, we can't hear you properly as well. Mohammed, just give Ridwan Mohammed, just give Ridwan and then we'll come to you after. Ridwan, go ahead. Ridwan, go ahead.
Can you hear me now?
Perfect.
Can you hear me now?
Perfect.
All right, good. All right. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for hosting this space. I would like to say some of my expectations regarding this issue. I think it's issue. First of all, I think it's once in a lifetime opportunity. Once in a lifetime opportunity because Ethiopia has always wanted an access to, and Somaliland has also wanted recognition, but for very long time. This is to the benefit of their people, the benefit of their people, for their national security as well. What I expect for Somaliland is for example, Ethiopia recognition first. Secondly would be Ethiopia providing us with cheap electricity, providing us with dam electricity, with the dam renaissance, from the dam renaissance project, so that we can industrialize our economy, and they should, for example, buy some of our fish from us, so we could sell it to them, and then offset that by the trade deficit that we have with them, and this the port deal should also quota 30%, maybe like for 30%, us to employ people, and provide opportunities for our people. And I understand that this is election season, but however, it shouldn't be politicized. Since this is the thing that we have been waiting for 10 years, we have had elections multiple times, but we haven't had the opportunity. We haven't had someone knock on our doors. We have what you've been looking for. We have what you've been looking for. Opportunity we have for you. And I think we should all come together. And not rushing to conclusions, not like we did in the 96 union. We should look into it, and we should look into it. The benefits of our people, we should definitely do it. Regardless of parties or political parties or whoever we support. We should all be behind this for the Ethiopians and the Somaliland Ethiopians. And again, I would like to thank you. I would like to thank everyone else that had spoken. It was a wonderful space. Thank you very much.
Ridwan, thank you very much. But you lied to us and you told us thank you very much for your contribution. Thank you very much. I totally agree with you. I agree with everything you said. Actually opening up the two economies. But I'll get back to that. So thank you very much. Shortly, Mohammed, welcome. Mohammed, welcome. Mohammed Ali.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. Do you hear me guys?
وعليكم السلام loud and clear. وعليكم السلام.
Thank you very much. And I would like to say my brother, and I will say again Ethiopia take them. Somaliland take them. I'm sorry about my English. Is broken language, but I can try my best. Don't forget that I never been in school, and I never been in college, and I never been in college. I would like to say, make expectation. Thank you very much for your effort and really effort you're doing for you, fighting for you, you're doing for you, Somaliland, and also thank you for the other people, thank you for the other people. Somalilanders are really well educated, well educated. I would like to thank you very much. I would like to thank you very much. I'm sorry, 65 years old. Sorry, 65 years old. Young generation, young generation. You want to retire? I'm really happy to see to hear. I'm really happy to see. Thank you very much. You all doing very well for Somaliland. You all doing very well for Somaliland, for your country, for your long freedom and stability for the region of Somaliland, for the region of Somaliland, Horn of Africa, for the Horn of Africa. Okay, come to the point. My expectation is very high. Because of Somaliland, seeking recognition for so many years, and we lost so many lives, and so many blood, and also was fighting and looking and seeking international waterway, to have a space for that one. If you go back to thousands of years, looking for the any gate to get into the water, Red Sea or Gulf of Aden. So both countries and the both nations win-win, and exchange see, we are looking stability. We are looking stability. Somaliland, Somaliland, the end of the problem. So long, bloodshed, dying people, fighting, dying. All this problem will be end. When the agreement has signed, and also an international waterway for all the trade, for all of the world, from all over the world, and the Red Sea and the Gulf of Aden, they all will be settled and peace and peace for every nation, for every nation. Ethiopia can feed them superpower. Welcome Somaliland, welcome Somaliland, welcome brother. We will like to brother. We will like whatever we can offer you. Whatever we can. Because I never forget 1988. Somali national movement. Was over the base. Was over the base. And they give him everything support. From that day, we brother and brother. We always together. We always help together. We always remember. We always remember our neighborhood and brotherly whatever we can each other. Whatever we can each other. We will do. And thank you very much, guys. My name is Muhammad Ali. My name is Muhammad Ali. And thank you very much, Mr. Sharmak. Thank you very much, Mr. Sharmak. Thank you very much for letting me speak. And thank you sorry about my language and my English. Sorry about my language and I'm so excited. I'm so happy. I want to retire with this nation. I want to retire Somaliland nation. I want to retire Somaliland country. I want to retire of my country. I want to see my people happy. My people happy, independent. Aggression Somalia, bloodshed of Somalia, failed state of Somalia. I don't want to hear again. And I don't want to hear again. The MOU has been signed. Everything will sign, and everything will be end of the problem. Security, Horn of Africa, East Africa, the whole African continent, the whole African continent. Salam alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Salam alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
A lot of people who speak better than me English will say, "Oh, better than me." Somaliland will say, "Oh, I apologize for my language."
Mohammed, thank you very much. Thank you, Mohammed. Thank you very much. Thank you for much appreciated. Your contribution, much appreciated. Totally agree with your sentiment. Totally agree with your sentiment. It's well and truly time. It's well and truly time to be peaceful. For our region, well and truly time. It's well and truly time for Somaliland's recognition. It's well and truly time that we see. It's well and truly time that we see in a positive manner as Africans. In a positive manner, actually, we see our interest in one another, and we recognize the fact that together we can do so much more. We can do so much together as Ethiopians and Somalilanders, but also more widely. I think it's important to recognize that. Habtish, welcome back. Habtish, welcome back.
I do have a question for you. Before I give you any compliment, I demand answer. My question is, and you don't have to answer it now. Then don't have to answer it now. Then answer it after I finish. Why don't you run for office? I really want you to answer that. And the other thing is, And the other thing am I allowed to say, I have not congratulated them. I have not congratulated them because they really deserve, because they deserve, because through all this since January 2024. And I think we should never forget. I think we should never forget how much effort they put into this process. They've been this process with us, behind us, working very hard to give us all the information that we needed to fight against them. And they feeding us information. They made me stronger than ever before. So I personally would like to say thank you all for Karsh. Thank you all for Karsh.
Thank you very much, Haftish. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Yes, you can say that. Yes, you can say that. Anointed Fagash Slayer here on Twitter and social media X. In response to your question, I haven't considered that yet. But never say never for anything. Never say never for anything.
In other words, we're trying. It's in progress. We're trying to convince. It's in progress. We're trying to convince. Don't worry about it. So don't worry. Ongoing negotiations. It's an ongoing negotiation.
We are here to fund them. We are here to fund them.
Thank you very much, guys, for your support. Thank you very much, guys, for your support. But swiftly moving on, we have another of my favorites. Another of my favorites finally joined us after spending way too much time listening. The floor is yours. Poetic, the floor is yours.
Hi, Sharmaki and friends. Thank you so much for this space, by the way. More often than not, we've been hearing a lot of negative spaces. We continue to perpetuate negativity that we have not been able to break out out of. The idea that has been left behind by our ancestors is the idea of African unity, collaboration, and working together without losing your working together without losing your identity, but hand in hand in order for us to prosper. And I just wanted to acknowledge the Somaliland patriots that you've really taken the bull by the horn, and have continued to spread positive message. And the positive message is not destroy this country or let's destroy that country, but rather what are the benefits that these countries offer to one another, and how can we collaborate just as the Europeans and other nations and the Asian Pacific and so on. So I think it's time for Africa. So I think it's time for Africa that you have introduced this type of space, and has been continuously, and that you've been forcing this thought down our throats, and peace and stability.
Kamaran cheegi bangiga oo la jeer dahabalaas. Ku kaydso lacagtaada mar kasta iyo meel kasta. Ku dhex isticmaal adeegyada Somtel iyo iDahab. Ku xidha akoonkaaga bangiga oo ka dhex maamula lacagtaada. U soo wareegoo la jaanqaad dunida casriga oo ku maamulo abka dahabalaas nolol maalmeedkaaga maaliyadeed. Hadda kala soo deg App Store iyo Play Store abka dahabalaas.